Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's another day here at P Street Garage, and what I'm going to do today is I'm going to start episode 2 of my nose job. So in the last episode I completely stripped off the front of this bus, and I think for now what I'm going to do, I've got this dismantled pretty much as I'm going to, except for that lower piece. I'm going to hold off on that. What I want to do today is I want to look at my replacement nose. I want to strip this down and start prepping it for installation. So let's get set up here. All right, here it is up on my sawhorses. A little rough on the bottom. What I want to do is I want to strip all these lights, these bezels out. I want to take this all apart, and then I'm going to have to release the air box from the skin. The air box belongs to the bus, and this one is all spot welded in, so I'm not going to spend 10 hours finding all those spot welds and drilling them out. I think I'm just going to go delicate, and I'm going to slice. I'm going to take the zip cut, I'm going to slice on the inside so I can preserve as much of the meat. If I can preserve this meat, I think that's going to, wait a minute. I need to keep this. This has to come with the skin. Wait a minute. Just bear with me one sec, guys, sorry. That other piece I took off yesterday. That's the top. Okay, so skin has to come with the lip. I need to preserve the lip, which means I am going to slice it still. I'm going to slice it on the inside, so to keep as much of this and this as I can. What about that? Oh, shoot. Okay, that all stays. All right. So slice on the inside. I gotta think conservatively. All right. Enough babbling. Let's start chopping and dismantling. Okay, well, that took quite a bit of time to cut around there, and I had to be a little bit delicate. That's why I used the little die grinder, and of course that thing is slow, but pretty effective. Let me see if I can peel this off now. I should have the entire air box and that separated from the skin. With any luck. Okay. Something's got us hung up. Yeah. That should come off then. There. Okay. It's a little bit lighter. Okay, now this is what I don't want, although this part's nicer than mine because of the accident damage. It's pretty nice. Okay. Okay, that's what I was after. Now let's see what we're left with. All right, let's have a peek at this. We already knew about the bottom. A little bit disappointed here. One of the eyeballs has a, well, I knew this part was gone, and I do have a spare, but the lip is a little bit deteriorated here, so there's a lot of pitting, so we'll have to do a little bit of work here. We'll replace this eyeball socket. Pretty happy with this. It's a little bit jagged right now, but I just got to clean this up so that it's smooth and it'll slip into place. So I'm going to progress work now. Going to trim this off. Going to do a little grinding in here, a little grinding there. Might look at this, see how this is going to fit on to this. And this is, like I said, this came with a bus. It's most likely a Clocker home. It's like a sheet of paper. But like anything else, I'm gonna try. This is I paid $250 for this. It's a far cry from the 1600. Of course, my time, but I kind of having fun with it. Again, I'm going to try. If it doesn't work, we can always order a nose. It's not the end of the world. All right, let's plug away. Okay, I just made this piece lighter again. So that's good. I'm into some good solid metal here. Like you saw, that replacement panel there is not great, but kind of is what it is right now. Driver's side eyeball socket is rotted out. And on my bus, the driver's side was also rotted out. So this was the driver's side like this, and this was the passenger side like this. Okay, they don't want to stay. Now they're going to stay. So those headlight buckets, I got two driver's side that are rotted out. My passenger side is perfect, so if I was to flip that around, if I flip this around, once I take it out, is it the same? Gosh, I don't know. Kind of looks like it could be the same. This tab with the hole for the wire. Okay, I'm just thinking out loud here. I don't know what the overall shape. If I put it this way, wow, these might be reversible, which means I could use the passenger side on my bus for the new nose. Okay, possibility. I think I'm going to start by cutting out that socket. All right, I've got the eyeball welded in, not the eyeball, but the eyeball socket. And it was a little hairy around the edges there. I started burning through, so I spent quite a bit of time building up and fixing pinholes. But anyway, that's in as good as I'm going to get it. Now what I need to do, I got to figure out a way to peel off this inner structure. It's attached to this. There's 2 layers of metal on this little lip. So I got to somehow separate this. Okay, let's do a little bit of chopping. All right, so all stripped down. There it is, kind of tentatively in place. So this is the idea. It's not a bad looking nose, except for the bottom. The bottom. Yeah. Okay, let's work on this bottom strip. Let's get this added on. Just before I put on that bottom piece of metal, I want to get rid of this excess up here. So I drew a line here. I'm going to buzz this off. I want to try to rehang this on the bus, see if it fits a little better. Okay, so this was the idea. Of course, it's still not fitting great because I wanted to get the windshield wipers and the squirters out of the way, but I wasn't even thinking. There's still some structure in here that needs to be removed, and I got to somehow figure out a way to release this skin from this structural member here. Let's take a look at that. So this is what I'm talking about here. The nose skin wraps around, and it looks like it's got some crude little tacks. And it's the same thing on both sides. Same thing on the other side, I should say. Just some crude little tacks. And I think if I grind these off, I should be able to separate this from this. And I'm not sure how. I probably will have to gently peel this up, is what I'm thinking. without warping or distorting anything. And then for what's remaining on the bus itself, probably the same idea. I think I may be able just to grind. I think I'll just grind this face until I get two separate pieces of metal. Then I can peel the inner one out and the outside one should just fall off in theory. Okay, I think I'm going to work on this and these before I put on that lower valance. All right, always a change of plans. Okay, so that actually went better than I thought. So I got all the metal that was, the structural metal that was in this groove has all been pulled out. So now I just need to find something to gently pry this open. I gotta come up with something better than this. Maybe some duckbill pliers. I'm just gonna open that lip up so I can wrap around the structure on the bus. Now let's get set up. Oh God, obstacle course here. And we're gonna have to remove this. This is the old skin and it wraps around. I think I'm just gonna grind the corner and peel it this way, Let's give that a try. So I've got all my edges cleaned up here and all that old metal's been peeled away. I got this done on both sides, and I also have the lip of the new nose completely opened up, so I should be able to test fit this in place again with these edges wrapping around. So I was able to get it on by myself, so it is doable, but I'm nowhere near where I need to be. I'm not exactly sure what the issue is, but it's pretty good over here. This can be finessed a bit, pushed in like that. That's not bad. Over here though, yeah, I realized that there was a little bit of accident damage, but I can't get that in anymore right now. So something has something buggered up there. I know it was pushed in a little bit, but when I did take out the old one, it was fully attached. Then again, the nose was pushed in, so I don't know. Okay, well that's done. That's a lot of the prep work done for the nose, and that's what the bulk of this video was going to be. Now I want to do one more thing, is I want to install that lower skin that's going to go all the way down. Let's look at that. So I'm trying to fasten this lower valance piece, or whatever you call it, the lower portion of the nose that you can get as a repair panel. As mentioned, this came with the bus. It's a clocker home. It's literally like working with a wet noodle, and I'm having a bit of a hard go with this one, mostly because it's so wonky. And I don't know if you can see, there's a little notch in the middle, and there's a notch in the middle, but the notch in the middle does not appear to line up with the center of my nose. I did a couple measurements here. This is off. So gosh, I don't know, because when I had this centered, I had one end way overhanging, and as you can see, that end is overhanging, and this one kind of ends up kind of flush. My gosh, so I kind of had to ignore this little notch And I kind of been going from this one, I kind of been doing measurements sort of corner to corner. It seems to line up this way. I've got it just set up like a bit of a lap weld for now. I'm just trying to get it lined up. Not really happy with this, but that lower portion I'm pretty certain that's all hidden behind the bumper anyway, but it's kind of silly that the notch does not line up with the middle. Unless my micrometer eyes are off, and they could be, but I measured from light to light. I did it quite a few times. I also measured off the original holes for where the emblem was. I mean, you'd think that those would be centered. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep playing with this and determined to get this stitched together. Okay, got the piece all tacked. Let's try a cut and butt. So here's my two pieces of metal joined together. I ended up with a lap weld. The cut and butt, when I did the initial slice, the gap opened up a little bit more than I wanted to. And so I quickly filled that back in, and I just finished up with the lap weld. I was afraid that things might go sideways, so it's all together now. Not exactly what I wanted, but it's pretty good. It'll work. And as mentioned, this section is fully behind the front bumper, so we'll just come back later and we'll finish that off with some fiberglass. Let's try a little OSFO. Let's throw on a quick coat of rust-proof paint. Here it is, all coated up. Let's try it on one last time. So here's my replacement panel back into place. Let's take a closer look at it. So there we have it, guys. I'm going to call this end of part 2. This was the prepping of the replacement nose. It's not horrible. I do have one small issue, and the issue is here. You can see I've got a gigantic gap here. And over here it fits perfect. Over here I have a gap, and that's all to do with this front end damage. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to address this. This is a future me problem. Probably this air box is somehow going to have to be pulled out or taken out and bent back into shape. I'm not exactly 100% sure how I'm going to do that, but for now I'm going to leave it. The replacement nose is all prepped, and other than more inner structural work, it's all together. And once I figure out this, it'll be ready to be grafted into place. Hi guys, thanks for watching. End of part 2, and we'll catch you in the next video when I tackle the that inner structure. Catch you in the next one.